Today, we'll be discussing living in space may shorten your lifespan. We will take a deep dive into how long-term space living could affect human health and potentially shorten our lifespan. Space travel is a huge step for humanity, but factors like microgravity, radiation, and psychological stress could have unexpected effects on our health. So, could living in space really shorten our lifespan? Let's take a closer look. In space, astronauts are exposed to harmful radiation from cosmic rays and solar winds without the protection of Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field. This radiation is far more intense and dangerous compared to what we experience on Earth. Long-term exposure to this radiation can damage our DNA, potentially leading to genetic mutations and increasing the risk of cancer. So, continuous radiation exposure is one of the greatest health threats of living in space, and it could shorten our lifespan. Another critical factor is the low gravity in space. In space, gravity is nearly non-existent, or as we call it, microgravity. This causes our muscles and bones to weaken over time. On Earth, gravity provides constant pressure on our bodies, keeping our muscles and bones strong. However, in space, muscles and bones don't experience that pressure and gradually become weaker. Prolonged exposure to microgravity can lead to muscle atrophy and reduced bone density, which could speed up the aging process and cause various health problems. Microgravity also has significant effects on the heart and circulatory system. On Earth, gravity helps the heart pump blood throughout the body. However, in space with no gravity, the heart doesn't have to work as hard. This can weaken the heart muscles and affect blood circulation. Long-term space travel could have a serious impact on heart health and increase the risk of heart disease. In space, adjusting to Earth's natural day-night cycle is challenging. The constant exposure to artificial lighting and microgravity disrupts astronauts' sleep patterns. Lack of proper sleep can affect brain function, leading to issues like concentration problems and difficulty staying alert. Sleep deprivation can also have long-term effects on brain health. As the brain relies heavily on regular rest, poor sleep quality in space can negatively impact mental well-being. Living in space for extended periods can cause psychological stress due to isolation, loneliness, and the pressures of being away from Earth. Astronauts experience significant emotional strain because their communication with loved ones is limited, and the environment is constantly testing both their physical and psychological limits. These mental health challenges can affect physical health, as psychological stress can worsen physical conditions, ultimately affecting lifespan. Spending long periods in space can accelerate the aging process. The combination of high radiation, low gravity, and psychological stress can all contribute to this. Muscle and bone deterioration, weakened heart function, and brain health decline can all speed up as a result of extended time in space. This may lead to astronauts returning to Earth in a physically aged state after prolonged missions. High radiation levels in space can alter astronauts' genetic makeup. These mutations could be passed on to future generations. The long-term effects of genetic changes caused by space radiation are still not fully understood, but this is an important area of research. Genetic mutations may not only affect individuals but could have lasting impacts on their descendants. In conclusion, living in space for an extended period can indeed have significant effects on our health and potentially shorten our lifespan. Radiation exposure, microgravity, psychological stress, and other factors can pose serious health risks. However, this is just the beginning of space exploration. As we continue to study these challenges and develop new technologies, we may find ways to mitigate these effects, paving the way for a longer, healthier life in space.